Firstly, I'd like to thank everyone for attending this session. Great to see such a fantastic turnout. So for me, in terms of the debate on identity politics and the rise of ethnic conflict, a big finding in my recent report, which was published by Policy Exchange, was the fact that much of the British public is far more likely to think that class, as opposed to racial identity, plays more of an influential role in shaping someone's life chances in modern Britain. And I think that one of the main reasons why identity politics has become not as popular as it is, but rather has such an influence in our own national discourse, I'd say there's two main factors. I think firstly, we have a political establishment which generally leans quite liberal on social issues, but is overall quite socioeconomically privileged compared to much of the general population. And I think in a sense they've used racial identity politics in particular as a way of firstly trying to appear like you're fighting the good fight, that they're rebellious, and also to deflect attention from their own position of socioeconomic advantage. And I think that it's a real shame that you almost have this dynamic here of middle-class insecurity in the British political establishment, where people are insecure in their own position of privilege, and in order to appear rebellious, that they're fighting the good fight from a social justice perspective, they've latched onto racial identitarian causes. Now, of course, this is a problem within the Labour Party, but I'd also make the point there's also elements even of the Conservative Party which are very much indulged in this. And secondly, I think that there's certain conservative values which I hold very dearly: personal responsibility, individual initiative, civic duty. I think that in many circles they've gone increasingly out of fashion. And I think that one of the most important things to do in life, hopefully not on a regular basis, but when it's required, is to take accountability and responsibility for your own failures. Now, that's not to say that all of our systems work absolutely perfectly in Britain, absolutely not, and there's certainly more work to be done in terms of strengthening equality of opportunity. That's something I'm going to come on to very shortly. But I do think that taking personal responsibility when things don't quite go according to plan, I think that at times a serious period of introspection is needed. But I think, unfortunately, with those conservative values appearing increasingly unfashionable, there's been a growing tendency essentially to blame the system for one's shortcomings or disappointments in their own lives. And I think that is a problem. In terms of equality of opportunity, in my view, if you look at the UK, especially compared to major EU member states such as France, Germany, the Netherlands, I think that we compare very favourably when it comes to providing anti-discrimination protections on the grounds of race, ethnicity, and religion. But we're also an international hotspot when it comes to forms of family breakdown, intergenerational disconnection. And these do play very important roles in terms of shaping life chances and also influencing young people's personal development. And I think something that gets completely missed is the fact that along with those class-based barriers, which can impact on access to high-quality schooling, but also very positive character-building initiatives, culturally enriching opportunities, we are one of the most interregionally unequal countries in the industrialized world. And I think that is a very serious problem. I was quite happy to see levelling up, who used to be a central part of conservative national political discourse, but not much was truly done on that front. And it became increasingly lost in the national political agenda. So I think that in terms of equality of opportunity, of course, you want to stamp out racial discrimination wherever it is found. But I think if you want to talk about genuinely strengthening equality of opportunity, that classic British promise, I think that especially elements of the left, they have to rediscover their willingness to engage with class and socioeconomic inequalities. But crucially, we have to acknowledge the fact that we are a very regionally unequal country, and that needs to be significantly improved upon. Otherwise, when it comes to identity politics, we are really being distracted here if we're focusing this much on racial identity politics, because I think, in my view, there are other factors which are far more influential and powerful when it comes to shaping life chances in modern Britain. Thank you.